We have the one toilet for all the 60 prisoners. There were no lights inside the cells. The windows were very high and they could never see the outside.
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
Okay guys, so my second stop of the day is Constitution Hill, and this behind me is the white prison, where this is where the whites were kept. And we're going to go to the non-white prison or the black prison after, but this is where the whites were kept. And you know, South Africa has a long history of segregation and apartheid, where whites and non-whites were basically separated and treated differently. So we're going to go around and see what, we're going inside, right? So we're going to go around and see what inside looks like, and then we'll compare it to the non-whites and see what, you know, what the different situations were. Okay, so this is the tunnel, this is the main entrance, this is where the prisoners came through. Okay, so these are the actual cells, and over here you have the notorious, you can see names, right? And this is where you had like the notorious prisoners. And their names are written on the cell and what year they were here. And as you can see, all this block had lights, so the prisoners were not kept in darkness. Oh, and these were individual cells, okay? So they were like one person in each of these cells. And this was someone who was against apartheid. He was a white man who was against apartheid, and he apparently was under very strict security here. But these were, I mean, look at how big they are, right? And they even had telephone, they had access to telephone. Look, there's also a light stand here, and this is basically how white men lived while in prison.
Let's go.
So upstairs you have more cells. These are not as fancy as the ones that were occupied by the notorious criminals. And I'm guessing you probably had more than one prisoner in each of these cells. So these cells held more than one prisoner. I'm not sure how many. Okay. So this is, I showed you the white prison where the white prisoners were kept. This is where the black prisoners were kept. And in here you would have anywhere from 60 to 70 prisoners, and as you can see, it's a communal setting. It's nothing compared to what the white prisoners have with their personalized cells. Here you have one toilet for everyone, and it wasn't surrounded by a wall, so there was no privacy. Okay, and one urinal to cater to all 60 to 70 prisoners that were housed in here. Alright, so in here, this is where the white men showered. If you look, you can actually see that there is a wall surrounding the bathroom. And we actually also have a door that you can close. So they had some sort of privacy, right? They had drains, so the water couldn't really run out, so it wasn't really wet and mucky inside here. It was basically clean. So this was the shower area for the white men. So here is where you have the shower area. There were 8 showers for 2,000 men, or over 2,000 men, and they were only allowed to shower once per week. Now, some people would not get a shower in until 6 months or once every 6 months because of the long queue that they had to jump. They only had cold water, so no matter what time, you know, South Africa has its winter season as well. So even when it was cold, they still had to bathe in the cold shower. Alright, so inside here they also had private toilets. They had a urinal and they had two bowls as well that they could do number 2 in. This too also had walls, so it wasn't open to everyone. This is where the black prisoners would use the toilet, and as you can see, there's no privacy. It was just like coming out, so you could have up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people using the bathroom at the same time. This structure that you see here wasn't here at all. This was put in after, and across from there, this wasn't here either, and this wasn't here either. Over there is actually the eating, the dining area for the black prisoners. So they would face this way, and those using the toilets would face this way. So whenever they're squatting to use the bathroom, they're in direct contact. There's no barrier. So of course you can imagine the spread of diseases, the sign, just the whole degradation basically. And they had some more toilets over here, 4 more toilets over here. So in total, for over 2,000 black prisoners, there were only 12 toilets. For the black prisoners, the humiliation just never stopped. When they came in from the fields or the mines, they were forced to do this very humiliating dance called the salsa. They had to remove their clothes and they had to spin with their arms outstretched like this, butt naked, turn around. Oh, I can't do that on camera. The white warders would check their anus to see if they had anything hidden up there, and then they had to jump and click with their tongue when they were finished. And they had to do this every single day before they were allowed to go back to their communal quarters. Alright, so in here, if a prisoner misbehaved, he was sent to the doctor, to the physician. The physician would examine him and see how much punishment he could take. Then he would be taken to this room, and the warden would choose a device to punish him with, and then he would come around here, feet placed here, fingers here, half naked, and he would be tortured. Now, after he was tortured, he would be taken to one of these cells for a minimum of 30 days. Now, if he misbehaved while here, he would be given additional days, right? Now, one of the things that they did, some of them were shackled. In the winter, if a prisoner was here during the winter, then they left the windows and doors open, so he was extremely cold. If the prisoner was there during the summer months, then the windows and the doors would be closed, so that person would be extremely hot. Now, there where you see the grills, the one door of the grill, if you were a political activist or if you were seen as mad or deranged, then you were sent there, sprayed with cold water until you calmed down or you came back to your normal senses. Above you have the barbed wire, which would prevent any prisoner from trying to escape. Yep, and those 2 doors to either end, you had your prison guards who would also keep watch over the prisoners. And this section is known as a deep dark hole. And because this part is built on a hill, whenever it rained and you had debris coming down from the hill, it would fall all the way down here. So here, when it's rainy season, it would be very mucky and dirty and just very unpleasant. And you'd be kept in here for 23 hours every single day. Let out 10 minutes for breakfast, 10 minutes for lunch, 10 minutes for dinner, and then 30 minutes for a small recreation in the afternoon.
So this is the eating area, or the little kitchen where they come and collect their meals from. We have the daily diet board, which is divided into 3 racial groups. That is how they prepare the meals of the prison. You'd have the whites, the colored and Asians, and the Africans. If you look at the Africans column, it shows us that African prisoners were not given things like bread, salt, milk, fat, and jam. We have puzamandla, third from the bottom. Now, puzamandla was something similar to your breakfast cereal, more like soft porridge. It was only given to the African men. Once they received this particular puzamandla, they were sent outside to go work in the mines and in the construction. Phuza Mandla is a Zulu word. Phuza means to drink, Mandla means strength or energy. This was something equivalent to an energy drink. On Christmas, we've got two groups. White prisoners, they get pudding or cake. Non-white, coffee or tea if milk and sugar was available. And front here, we have 3 plates, 3 races. This would be a plate for the whites with the Christmas treat. The cup of tea or coffee for the non-whites, the plate for the colors and Asians, and this is how much food they would receive per meal, per day. The last plate was meant for the Africans, which is empty with some stains around. Those stains are showing us that the plates were only washed once every 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
That's why prisoners were contracting different diseases because of such living conditions. Also on the other side, we have the 3 pots for the 3 races. So you have the whites, the colored and Asians, and the